So Gunther showed up at the start of SmackDown. I was like, well, excuse me, bro. I didn't hear anything about a transfer window. Right, so it must be true. You should be here. Same time, we were overseas in Spain, and as we know, these overseas crowds are so damn good. Although we should probably stop calling them overseas crowd, because if you live there, it's most definitely not overseas. And if you live in Europe, well, it's basically overland. Let's not worry about that though, because it's absolute gibberish. And welcome, my friends, to Ups and Downs, the only wrestling review show you need, with me, the Baldy, Simon Miller. And do not forget the What Culture tour is happening next week. Now that the WWE is in Europe, they're going to come to the UK and Ireland and Scotland, and we're going to follow them around for a while. So do come and say hey ho, should you so wish. All the information will be in the description below. But as for now, we take the finger of power, we give it a kiss, which is weird, we give the good bits an up, the bad bits are down. When we kicked off SmackDown with LA Knight, the brand new US champion, this guy was so over, you would have thought Santa Claus was here. Knight looked genuinely taken aback by this too, so it was a proper warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum moment. And of course he said, hey, I may be the United States champion, but dare I say it, we go worldwide. Well, that's very nice pandering to the audience. Now, somebody was always going to interrupt, but it was Jimmy Uso. And I don't know whether because the fans had been going so crazy, we had to hit fast forward here. But he got in the ring and he said, hello, LA Knight, I need to get to WrestleMania, but I'm running out of time. Can I please challenge for the US Championship? Breathe. As soon as he said that, too, Sikoa's music hit, and out came Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. Can't do those noises, but you know what he does. And this Solo man, he is kissing Jacob's ass. He was like, everybody get out the ring. If anybody is going to challenge for the US Championship, it should be Jacob, because there was that triple threat match for the #1 contendership. And Mr. LA Knight, that's when you stole the pin. I was like, well, that is technically true, but it was also a triple threat match. Solo then called Jimmy Uso nothing but a massive failure. So Jimmy was like, no, you're the failure. And Solo was like, no, you the failure. But essentially, Jimmy was telling him, you couldn't even take the Ula Fala from Roman Reigns, so you absolutely suck. The Bloodline 2.0 then obviously beat these guys down, because that's what they do. And all of a sudden we've got Raw. Guy's music cracks me up. And out came Braun Strowman. He ran wild. I think Nick Aldis in the back was like, I've always wanted to be Teddy Long. So he walked out and said, you know what? We're going to do a 6-man tag team match player. And this actually made sense too, because you didn't have the hottest crowd in ages. So WWE just gave them a proper WWE match. And they lapped it up. Solo beat up Jimmy for a little while too, and even hit the spinning solo. But he tagged in Jacob for 2, and everybody went, yes! Let's not pretend otherwise, he's a babyface. We basically built to the hot tag here for LA Knight, and he did go toe-to-toe with Jacob for 2. And I said this a few weeks ago, I think these two are going to be involved for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. And maybe now there's other bodies as well, we do a multi-man match. But you damn right I will be obnoxious about it. I talked about it back in November last year. People are like, Simon, you're so stupid. I am so stupid, but sometimes I get things right. Jacob then went crazy for a while, but LA Knight was able to smash him with some elbows. When he went for the BFT, Fatu was like, no, that's not happening. Solo eventually got back in there and he missed the hip attack, which of course meant Braun Strowman got the hot tag. And he quite literally does go raw and just run around the place. But actually, I like Braun. I think he's very good at his role. LA Knight made sure to run offense too, and as soon as he had taken out all the other goons, Strowman grabbed Tama Tonga, obviously, gave him the power slam, 1, 2, 3, or uno, dos, tres. Solo spiked Braun instantly after this when Solo and LA Knight fought to the back, where Jacob Fatu was like, all right, I'm going to give a kick that is super to Jimmy Uso. When Jacob remembered, oh no, wait, it's Braun Strowman I hate the most, and he didn't just give him 1 moonsault, he gave him 2 moonsault, 3 moonsault, 4. As I've told you before, if you're looking for a partner right now, find somebody who treats you like WWE treats Jacob Fatu. And then also remember that he had legs. So after him and Tama Tonga had left, Jacob ran all the way up the entranceway and just crashed this guy through barricade. And you bet your ass the camera operator followed him the whole way. Now later on, Jacob Fatu cut a great promo. He said he'll take on Braun Strowman next week. That's why I'm confident about my WrestleMania plan. And maybe that's how you do Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu, because they both get in there, but then you have an LA Knight and a Jimmy Uso. Hopefully a Tama Tonga. I like that guy, and he doesn't get the praise that he does deserve. But this was actually a super entertaining way to open SmackDown. That's why I watch television programs, to have a good time. Then got the big recap video for everything between Jade, Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi. And we have a problem with Naomi. Been following her on social media this week, she has become hilarious. And if it keeps going this way, well, I'm going to side with Naomi. That is not the story. Kelly was then sitting down to Jade Cargill to talk about all this. And man, Jade is super pissed off. She kind of sat there with smoke coming out of her ears. I'm really not sure we can trust her testimony either, because Kathy was all like, well, what do you remember? She was like, man, well, I got attacked and everything went fuzzy. But I absolutely am sure that it was Naomi. I was like, that's not going to hold up in court. Though actually, if you go back to the night she was attacked, Naomi has basically had the colour yellow throw up on her. It looks like she got attacked by the sun. Jade is also mad that Bianca continued to tag with Naomi. I was like, Cargill, why didn't you text her? You could have done this. You had a phone. You could have write, hi B, Naomi was the one. Sad face, I feel bad. Then it got so damn good because all of a sudden you heard some hecklers in the background. And it was Raquel. I now wear sunglasses because I'm a bad guy, Rodriguez, and Liv Morgan. Honestly, this Liv Morgan, she has taken 2024 and just driven it all the way to the success house. She, for me, is one of the best people in WWE right now. Not only is she having banger matches, she is so damn, she's just an asshole in the best possible way. She was saying all this stuff like, oh, Jade, you thought it was me and it wasn't. I think we should give her all of the belts. Now, eventually, Jade Cargill challenged her to a match next week, and I can't lie, that did irk me a little bit, because I do not want to forget about the Women's Tag Team Championship. So then, Liv walked off, and she called Jade an idiot loser. The way she delivered this, I'm just giving it a round of applause. So, look, this story has huge plot holes in it, but I do not care, because it is soap opera up to 2-9, and it goes back to what I just said. I'm so sports entertained, I don't give a flub if I can sit there and go, oh, this bit doesn't make sense. Sometimes I don't want wrestling to make sense. 2 + 2 = potato. That's right, I said it. I'm the problem. However, I do have to do this, and I'm very sorry. So hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Nobody Talks Like That. Because yes, when Jade was regaling us with her tales, she said, after I got thrown onto that car, everything went dark, and I saw Naomi run away. She was my friend. She was my sister. We were the big three. She didn't just attack me physically. She assaulted my loyalty. She assaulted my heart. No, I wouldn't be that guy, but once again, if you were giving a police statement and you started saying this, I'd be like, yeah, we ain't listening to anything else. That is way too emotionally charged. Why? Because nobody talks like that. B-Fab was there walking backstage and just so happened to tell us she was going to build a brand new legacy. But very sadly for her, she'd picked a terrible first step. She was facing Charlotte Flair. Now actually, she did get some licks in here, because it went about 10 minutes. And at one point, she even booted Charlotte right in the face, and she got a 1-2. But honestly, there was more chance of hair just spraying out of my head than her ever winning. Also, that would have been redonkulous, so eventually, yes, Charlotte Flair hit natural selection, she applied the figure 8, and she got the 1-2-3. Actually, it was a decent match. Of course, she's a bad guy now, so she wouldn't release the hold. And Tiffany Stratton, this beacon of morality, only then did she decide, well, I better go to the ring. I mean, she must have been backstage hanging out playing Nintendo saying, if I see someone today, applied submission, and they don't release it when they should, I'm going to go out there. Now, as I suspected too, now we are the other side of Elimination Chamber. All of a sudden, the Tiffany Stratton-Charlotte Flair feud is getting good because we did one of these massive brawls. And of course, the useless wrestling security were there after a while. They did nothing. They're useless. They were just jumping off of everything though, and it honestly felt like, man, they don't like each other. So hopefully now next week, we can do the big promo off, and actually there is more to this in around about 5 minutes. But again, this was the first proper angle we have done. We're like, hot damn, that's what I was waiting for. Giving it up. He then just got the best Drew McIntyre video, because he told us all the ways that he has been screwed, and he came with receipts. They went all the way back to Clash at the Castle, and of course he kept saying, oh, that damn CM Punk. But after doing some detective work, he has actually realized the person responsible for all of it is Damien Priest. If you had bumped into Drew McIntyre in the supermarket yesterday, he probably would have gone, wait a minute, it was that guy. So he's just the man, and there are a few people on the internet going, oh my God, I can't believe we're doing Drew McIntyre versus Damien Priest. And I think they're going to take that stupidness and shove it up your wim-wham, because honestly, they are too talented for it to be bad on the show of shows, and also, you are just putting a chip on their shoulder. So I'm actually super excited about this. I think it could be one of the matches of the weekend. We also got a vignette for AJ Styles when the Miz was in the ring, ready for Miz TV. And this is where the Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair brawl continued. And yep, Tiffany climbed up onto the entrance screen. And she did a big senton unto everyone. Now listen, she didn't get much of Charlotte Flair, but I don't care because it looked badass. Also, I've got real problems to worry about. The main one being one day I'm going to be dead. I'm I'm not worried about whether Charlotte Flair got hit properly or not. It was super cool though, and even the Miz was like, oh man, well we better just get on with this. And I'll be the first to tell you, I was like, I don't want to watch Miz TV. Now, of course the Miz knows what he's doing, but I just don't like talk shows anymore. They don't make any sense. They haven't made sense for years. People are cutting promos all the time anyway. His guest was Cody Rhodes though, and Miz clearly had a death wish, because he cut off the whoa, which only makes sense if you understand wrestling. So Cody popped him in the mouth. He totally destroyed him. When he got the mic, I was like, listen, I don't want to talk to anyone unless your name is John Cena. So Johnny boy, if you can find the time in your precious schedule to turn up, I'll see you Monday. Now that just worked so damn well, because it felt like Cody had planned this. And listen, by this stage, of course we want to see John Cena, but as always, given that we are calling him QB1, Cody is just putting this all on his shoulders and he's making it work because we love the guy. So this was short, this was sweet. In 3 days' time, prepare yourself, my friends, because we're probably about to get the fine speech and a verbal annihilation. I couldn't be more excited. Shinsuke Nakamura was in the back telling Nick Aldis, I don't really understand why people on the internet are saying I don't have a job here anymore. That's not what he said, sorry. I got confused there. He was saying, I want a rematch with LA Knight. Damien Preist also walked in though, because he wants to find Drew McIntyre. And you cannot have two wrestlers in the same vicinity when a general manager is there, because they fell out with each other as they spoke their own languages, which I thought it was cool. WWE should continue to do more of this. And Nick was like, well, apparently I've not booked this show at all. I don't have any matches. So go out there right now and fight. Got even better too, because before they started scrapping, we got our first teaser for the evening when we saw a silhouette of a luchador. And I tell you, if this is not Rey Fenix, it's most definitely Rey Fenix. I mean, maybe it was Omos, but I doubt it. So as always, when it comes to professional wrestling, I just want wrestlers to go wherever makes them happiest. And never forget, if you jump to WWE to AEW, that's awesome. If you go from AEW to WWE, that's awesome too. We had a 20-year period where nobody was able to jump ship, and it absolutely sucked. So I am excited for this. When we did get to Damien and Nakamura, they basically just punched each other for a while. When Preist does that thing where he walks the top rope and hits a crossbody. I know he's done this before, but do you know how bonkers that is? Damien Preist is massive. Shinsuke soon applied the dreaded chin lock though. I think Preist was offended by that because he just grabbed Nakamura and threw him into the announce table. And when Damien went for something after that, Shinsuke was able to lock in the armbar. That's when Drew McIntyre just turned up. Apparently he had decided to wait for 8 minutes. It worked though, because Damien was about to win the match before Drew just absolutely assassinated him. And Shinsuke was like, well, I want to get in on this action too. And he laid out Damien Priest with a concession. And he just walked off. McIntyre decided to pick the bones and he finished Damien Priest off with a claymore. And he looked like an absolute killer here. And Damien sold it wonderfully. So it goes back to what I just said. Maybe we can kind up with some kind of stipulation, but I just think they're going to go out there and smash it. I don't know what it is, man. You can never explain wrestling sometimes, but emotionally I'm into this. Maybe it's because they both are absolutely brilliant. I'm giving it an up. I like it. Let's not forget as well, they do have a bunch of history going all the way back to WrestleMania 40, when we did get that big John Cena video, and we actually included the line of Triple H going, well, I don't know what John Cena is going to do as a heel. Obviously, the internet has had a conniption about this. Who even cares? It's all out there. None of this is a surprise. Personally, do I think it should be on the show and be this glaringly obvious? Probably not. But we all do it anyway. You go to wrestling shows now, people walk around going, oh man, shoot, work, heel, babyface. So if anything, we're all to blame. Let's go have a party. This is when we got teaser number 2 as well. And it was just a darkened area with some smoke and the number 4. But listen, as a man that does like to guess, I think this could be Aleister Black. And Aleister Black and Phoenix going to SmackDown. Well, that's actually some damn good additions. DIY then told us they were the best tag team ever, and also said to Kathy Kelly, can you tell us what a moment in silence is in Spanish? Which essentially meant they were going to kill the Street Profits, put a 1 on the crime counter. Also, I looked it up, and I'm gonna have to apologize to my Spanish friends. It would be Momento de Silencio. No one should ever watch me again. Who gave me a job? Both Machine Guns then walked in and basically said, listen, DIY, we think you're horrible people, when flipping Lamine Yamal from Barcelona was in the crowd. As a big football fan, even I was like, wait, how did we get here? We are living in a very strange reality. We then instantly cut to Chelsea Green's new group, and honestly, man, This stuff is fantastic. She now has her secret Hervis stuff with Alba Fire and Piper Niven. She was just like, oh, the most dangerous person in the United States. And it's just the visual of it. I was in on this as soon as I did see it. Thank goodness we pivoted away from the Piper Niven stuff and we were teasing maybe they were going to fall out. Never do that and keep these three together for life. Eventually Zelina Vega walked in and was like, oh, hi, I would like a title shot. And Piper was like, sorry, mate, it's not Australian, I don't know what that was. You have to go through me first. You know what I'm going to say here, because I am like a broken record. I'm just so, not bored, that's not the right word. I'm just a bit done with wrestlers going up to championship wrestlers and going Geese title shot and getting one. But the people keep asking me, Geese title shot is me just shrinking, give me a title shot. Just funny when you say geese, because geese is an animal. That is the level we are operating at here. Now listen, I wasn't here last week. Chelsea's new group is absolutely getting them up. I'm genuinely excited to see where it goes. But yeah, somebody just walking and saying words, it gets it down. We have so much potential here. Let's use it. When we got to Carmelo Hayes versus Randy Orton, I'm just going to use that word again. What a fun match. Carmelo wanted to shake Randy's hand at first too, but just did the pullback thing because he's such a good heel. And Randy Orton just whooped his ass. He threw him to the rim post, he threw him into out of the announce table. It was a bit like Mello should have known that. The crowd was so into Randy as well, which was so damn cool when Carmelo had a great idea. I'm going to go after his leg. That did work for a little while. And Randy Orton gave him the snap slam, he was done. I really do think we have to start talking about the fact that Randy Orton is one of the best ever because he's so damn smooth, smoother than my head. And if we can just get Carmelo Hayes in some bigger feuds and get him some wins, I tell you, you could run this back in a year's time, you could turn it into a proper program. They had good chemistry. There was then this awesome cut-off springboard when Randy Orton murked this guy again, and Carmelo sells so well. When he was actually able to reverse the RKO, he hit the first 48. But the problem is, Orton went all video game and he's doing that spinny thing, but his meter was charged. RKO 1, 2, 3. Now Randy still decided he would shake this rookie's hand afterwards, but Mello pie-faced him, so surprise, surprise, he got RKO'd. And given that Randy does hear voices in his head, they were going, beat 2009 Randy Orton, whoever the flub it was from, because he was going to punk Carmelo Hayes right in the head. Now, of course, this didn't happen because Kevin Owens made the save. Kevin Owens is so damn good. He posted Randy Orton, then ran off like a school bully. But of course, we'll get to WrestleMania. Randy Orton will punt him. It's just such a simple feud, but it worked because I care about both men and this match. Honestly, it was really good. This is when we got the Bloodline 2.0 promo with Jake and Fatu challenging Braun Strowman, when out came Gunther. I'm just going to say this. Thank goodness he decided to forget about the Raw SmackDown divide. Now, because we was in Europe, he declared that he is the best European wrestler ever. And also, man, he doesn't want to be here. He'd rather be in Madrid. It's like, man, he's such a good heel. Amazingly too, given where they were, Gunther had gone and pulled some strings to prove a point to Jey Uso. We all love Jey Uso, but when he gets to the ring, he isn't able to do it. And that's why we're going to get a dress rehearsal of WrestleMania. And yep, Axiom was on SmackDown. Obviously, he's from Spain. And this place exploded. All I'm going to do as well is tell you to watch it. I don't want to say, oh man, WWE should do more of these matches, because they quite literally just did it. And also, actually, when you go through the last few years, they have lent into these more. But it was just so perfect and a great reminder, even if you have a really big guy and a guy who's not so big, you can make it work. Now, Gunther held him around for a little while, but Axiom doesn't quit and gave him a chop, which is a terrible idea, because Gunther looked at him like he'd slapped his mother. And then, yeah, the chop that Gunther gave him in return, I honestly thought he was dead. There was then this amazing 1-2 ooh after Gunther hit a powerbomb, and nobody could believe that, when Axiom got the most devastating move. In all of sports entertainment, there's a prize roll-up. Now listen, nobody deep down actually thought he was going to win, but when he hit the golden ratio super kick, for some reason I believed, obviously the Spaniards, they agreed. I mean, it was a great near fall, but come on. All it did was piss off Gunther, though, because he was like, okay, fine. He gave him a bomb of power, gave him a lariat, gave him another bomb of power, and he got the victory. And obviously, after the fact, he made him go to sleep because somebody had told him that Axiom hadn't had his 8 hours. But this was just perfect in any ways. Don't you tell me, oh, we can't call a guy from NXT because he's too small. We just proved that if you sit down and you think about it, you can make it work. You just have to be a bit creative. And it's Gunther, man. He is on an all-time run. But Paul Heyman came out to advertise a video game. Don't get mad at me, that's what he did. He also told us it was Roman Reigns' day because the video game had been released when he got to part 2, which was the fact that some people want to know what's going to go down between Roman and CM Punk. given what happened on Raw. But remember, it's not CM Punk Day, it's Roman Reigns Day. I was like, man, if we change the calendar, I am checking out. I can't have Monday, Tuesday, etc. being Roman Reigns Day, and then, I don't know, Cody Rhodes Day, then CM Punk Day. I'm gonna get exhausted. Roman absolutely now does have an issue with CM Punk, though, and he will address those issues soon. When Paul Heyman also said, and by the way, it's not Seth frickin' Rollins Day, and that one really would be too much for me. Of course, as soon as he mentioned Seth Rollins, all the fans started to sing. Paul Heyman really is good. Even during segments like this, he was just like, don't talk to me about that song, I hate it. Really, this was also a way to tell you that come next week in Rome, Roman Reigns is going to be on the show. And obviously, as soon as he said that, people in Spain booed because they wanted to see the tribal chief. When Paul Heyman, and only Paul Heyman could have done this, actually went, well, it's not like you can't just get on cheapo airlines and fly there. Mussolini won't stop you at the border. Good grief. So yeah, this didn't need to happen and you'll never think about it again. But this is why WWE are lucky to have someone like Paul. You could get him to go out there and read you like a Chinese food menu. You'd be like, oh man, I need to go out there and get some Chinese. So I will give it an up. But also, yes, it was absolutely pointless. Legado del Fantasma then wished the Street Profits luck when they were cutting a promo before their tag team title match. And I wouldn't trust that at all. When we had a very interesting segment between Gunther and Jimmy Uso, because Gunther was quite humane here, saying, listen dude, you need to talk to your brother and tell him, did you see what happened to Axiom? That's going to happen to you too, when of course Jimbo defended his sibling and said, haha, he's going to whip your ass. Honestly, if you have 45 seconds, I'd watch this today. But it kind of makes me think that Gunther is now going to kill Jimmy Uso, taking away his US title shot at WrestleMania. It was very well done. Which did bring us to the main event, DIY defending their tag team titles against the Street Profits. And quite clearly WWE had gone, we are overseas, we're going to get a big pop. Let's change those belts. Now, I really like this because, of course, the tag team scene on SmackDown has been nuts recently. It's been chaos with Dr. Robotnik and all of the teams, but this kind of makes it all make sense because you just never know. Not every single person needs to hold a championship until 42-79. You want to keep people on your Tootsie Toes. Mission accomplished. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins even hit an assisted moonsault to begin with when Tommaso Ciampa was in there. He tagged in Johnny Gargano, who was able to kind of like push Montez off the ring apron, which meant DIY were now in charge. Ciampa then thought he'd get the fairy tale ending, but I was like, bro, that's massively insulting. You haven't even charged your meter yet. And Montez knew that was bogus too. He got the hot tag to Angelo. Honestly, we do not put enough respect on Dawkins' name. He has a great hot tag. Like at one point, he literally like rotated and did some twiddly-widdly stuff into the corner. Ford then tried for the 450, but that was too early too. When DIY did get the Shatter Machine, that's when we started getting into the 1-2-oohs, and because everybody was so into this, these near falls were great. The tag Claxton then went off and Angelo was able to push Tommaso Ciampa into Timmy the Timekeeper's area, and that's when the Street Profits hit the blockbuster, but Ciampa was back and honestly, he could not have broken that up any later. It then continued because Dawkins missed a swanton when Ciampa was able to hit the fairy tale ending, but that also only got a 1-2-ooh when DIY were like, fine, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna hit the meat in the middle. Very sadly, Johnny did not time this right, and he super kicked his own partner right in the face. But bless Johnny Gargano, man. He didn't sell this like, whoa, I can't believe it. It was all like, for goodness sake, I didn't mean to do it. Obviously, instantly, Angelo Dawkins used that to his advantage. He spine busted Johnny Gargano right on his ass when he tagged Montez Ford, who hit the 450. 1, 2, 3. Brand new tag team champions. One hell of a pop. It just felt right too, and I don't even know what that means, but however we built this SmackDown tag team division, well, it's coming to fruition in front of our eyes. Still do kind of think it will be a multi-person match at WrestleMania, but this one worked. The Street Profits haven't been the champions apparently for 4 years, which is totally nuts. Great way to end a very good show. Up. And I'll be completely honest with you, the show's going to get up as well, and that's mostly to do with the fans. Because you probably could have had an ant come out there and cut a 42-minute promo, and if these guys had been allowed as they were for everything else, I'd be like, man, that ant, he should be headlining WrestleMania. Now, of course, please do let me know your thoughts about SmackDown in the comments below. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen for ups and downs for Raw. I would appreciate you watching as many ups and downs as possible. It's good for my soul. Otherwise, have a great weekend, my friends. I'll see you soon.